Assalamu alaikum students. This is our fourth lecture of second year computer science. And today's video we will study the high level languages and see some characteristics of middle level languages. So let's start with the high level programming language. The high level programming language is also used for giving the instructions to the computer. But when we write the instructions in high level language, we can use the natural language such as English. And we can use the mathematical symbols like the plus, minus, and multiply, divide instead of using the mnemonic codes. So if you remember that in the assembly language, we were using the mnemonic codes like add and sub. And in the machine language, we were using the machine codes. But in the high level languages, we uses the English language words and the mathematical symbols. So therefore, it is easier to write the code in the high level language as compared to the low-level programming languages. Now, this is an example. Here you can see, this is the code which is written in the high-level program. And you can see the words like class and triangle, float, surface, and you can also see the mathematical symbols used in this code. And this is the code which is written in the assembly language. And this is the executable machine code. So you can see that in this example, that this code is more easier for the humans to understand as compared to low-level program and the executable machine codes. So the high-level languages are more closer to the human. This means that they are more easier for the humans or the programmer to understand as compared to the machine or the computer. But there is one drawback, that the high-level language processing will be slower or executing the instructions will be slower. In the low-level programming language, the processing time is very fast. But in the high-level programming language, the processing time will become slow. This means that your program will take more time to execute if it is written in high-level language as compared to if it is written in the low-level programming language. Now another point is that the high-level language can be used without the knowledge of given computer on which the program will run. If you remember, when we studied the assembly language, we have seen that to write a code in the assembly language, you need to have the comprehensive and detailed information about the computer for which you are writing the code. But this is not the case in the high-level language, and you can write the code even without any knowledge about the computer. So high-level languages are used in the application programming, then developing the system software, because they are more close to the humans as compared to the computer, and therefore they are not used for writing those applications through which you can control the computer. Instead, these are using for developing the application programs and developing some specific softwares. Like we have seen the words or some gaming apps. Next point is that the high-level languages are the standard programming languages. This means that these languages will not change depending upon the computer architecture. No matter for which computer you are writing, the high-level language instructions are the standard instructions and they will remain the same for every computer. Now the next point is that the high-level languages are machine independent. We have seen the term machine independent in our previous lectures. And this means that if you have written a code in the high-level language, then it can run on the variety of different machines, whether they have the different internal architecture. It will not affect. Now the next point is that the programs which are written in the high-level languages are portable. Portable means that software that has ability to run on the variety of computers, so the same thing is repeated. That if you have written a code then you can run it on different computers. You can carry the code and you can run it on a different computer. Next point is that the cost of developing the program in high-level language is low as compared to developing a program in assembly language. High-level language programs need translation because computer cannot understand the high-level language. It understands only the machine language. So we have to convert the high-level language program into the machine language. The one instruction in the high-level language will produce the multitude or multiple instructions in the machine language. This means that if you translate the high-level language instruction into the machine language, then one instruction of the high-level language will be equal to the multiple instructions in the machine language. So here's an example for you. We are translating the language. We have given the task of displaying the sum of A times B plus C. This means that we are multiplying A with B and then adding the C and then displaying the result. So we have written the code in C++, and C++ is a high-level language program. And this is the instruction, the single instruction which you have to write if you are using a high-level language. You will use the function cout and A multiplied by B plus C. However, when it will be translated into the assembly language, then this single instruction will result into these multiple instructions. You can see 4 different instructions. And if it is converted into the machine language, you can see it's machine language equivalent here. So this was an example to make this clear that a single instruction which is written in the high level language will result into the multiple instructions in the low level languages. Now we will see some early examples of the high level languages. So the first is Fortran, or the formula translator, and it was invented by John Backus for the IBM. And this was the first high level language which was widely used. And it was designed to write the programs for solving the scientific and engineering problems. The next is the COBOL. It was also an early high-level language developed in the 1959, and it stands for the Common Business Oriented Language, and it was used for solving the business computing. It was used for writing down the programs which were used mainly in business and finance and administrative services. Now, in this picture, you can see some high-level languages which are widely used today, specifically in the 2020. So you can see this. The Python is the language which is most widely used today, and after that there is Java, and also some other languages like C++, Ruby, JavaScript, C#, C, PHP, Go. These languages are used for developing the application programs today. So now we can see some advantages of the high-level language. First is that the high-level languages are easy to learn because they have the English words and the mathematical symbols and program with. Second is that the code which is written in the high-level language is smaller. We have seen the example. And third is that it is machine independent. This means that you don't have to write the code again for the different machines. One code will run. The disadvantage is that you cannot control the hardware using the high-level language. This means that you cannot develop the system software. High-level languages are mostly used for application software development, and that the program processing will be slower as compared to the low-level language. Okay, now we will see some middle-level language characteristics. As I have told you before that the middle-level language is not specifically a category, but there are some languages which have, although they are called the high-level language, but they also have some characteristics of the low-level languages. So therefore, they came to known as the middle-level languages. So the language which has some features of both the low-level and high-level languages, such languages are known as the middle-level languages. And the advantage of using such language is that user is capable of doing both the system programming as well as the application programming. This means that you can develop the system software and the application software by using such languages. And C, which we are going to study, is an example of the middle level language. So this was our lecture today. I hope that it's clear to you. Thank you for your attention.